Okay, here we go, day 4. Let's see what it's got in store for us. 86, 87. Yeah, whatever. Porsche 962, 186 and 87. And anyway, whatever you just said. Porsche wants 2 last shows of skill before they sign you to take. Beat their best 962 time of 52 seconds in the Mazda. And I am about 2.5 points above the recommended PR. Time trial on the dynamic. Let me actually switch this up here, turn that down, and I have to change this up now because I ran a good little race. The dynamic track's always very very interesting. You almost have to hit the brakes before you hit the gas or the accelerator in most cars. That's actually a good place where you can wall ride. You can just sort of drag the car along that wall. That's actually one of the few places in the game that I can actually do that. I was completely against the idea of going on the walls. I'm actually going to be pretty close to this. And, woof. Oh, wait a minute. I think it was 53 seconds, wasn't it? I don't even remember. Whatever. Okay, on we go. Yeah, that's one of the few places that I can ride the wall, is on that track. Reach a top speed of 148. I think I'm in miles per hour here because I needed miles when I did the endurance race for some farming just a minute ago. And you can't go off track for more than a second. Short track. That's actually, I always say it's difficult to not go off track on the short, and part of the reason is because I'm so used to going off track. Pretty much every time I race this track, I go off the track. Alright, so there's one time into the top speed. As you can tell, I'm already a half a second over on the off track, so that's not good. So the difficulty here for me with the level of upgrades that I have is actually not going to be winning, and it's probably not going to be the top speed either. It's going to be keeping the car on the track. This is definitely not the easiest track on the game to stay on track because it's really narrow, really twisty. So just really back up the turns, you know, with my PR, you know, obviously I actually wish I wish they were a little more difficult to race. You know, I really like running a good race against cars that you just continually have to pass and all that. You know, I really don't like being ahead by, you know, half a mile or, you know, whatever I'm ahead now. It's just really not, it's just not challenging. And while sometimes challenging can actually be a little silly, not always. So that's enough waiting there. Let's see, where are we going next? Here's our chance to test it out, and then we'll get their fleet for the rest of the journey. When any, without going off track for more than a second, or complete all three. We'll run this one. And there's the Porsche. I wish I could actually put the upgrades on it, but it won't let me. So, let's see. When, without going off track for more than a second. Let's see how this turns out. Obviously, if it's just to complete it, then it doesn't really matter. You just finish. I would like to win and then just get on with it. I don't want to have to run all three races. Yeah, 5 laps. Definitely the difficulty in a 5-lap race is going to be not running off the track. I've already passed Magnus, and this is with a car with no upgrades. So, yeah, this is a sort of, I don't know, absurdly easy goal, I guess you could say. The only difficulty would be the time that you would have to sink into it in order to run all three. You know, I would test it to see what happens if you go off track for more than a second. I almost tested it there accidentally. I may end up seeing at the end of the race what it does. I wonder if it fouls you immediately and just stops the race, or if it lets you keep going. You know, because the requirement is to win. Let me see what it says. Yeah, so win one without going off track, or you can complete all three. So I would assume you could actually win by, you know, going off the track, and it would just make you run the other 2 races. Unless, of course, you can win one of the other ones without going off track. I don't know. However it works out, I'm going to do everything I can to not go off track for another half second and just go ahead and be done with it here. And so if it goes to the green, showing that I've completed the stage, what I'm going to do is put this car in for service, just so that it's all the way in the green when the next event starts, the one that's actually for this car. Although, it may not matter, because I think this one can be won in the limited time series. So you can win those with service in the red, just like a regular career series. It'll be interesting to see how those time-limited series play out, how much they cost. Well, yeah, I've messed around, so I'll have to see how it goes in another race. I may as well just finish this one. Definitely fouled there, so I get to go a little more. I think I'll try the dynamic, and it's only 4 laps, so that's good. Well, mostly because I just didn't pay close attention. Here I sit running a second race. I really don't want to have to run the third one. Now what I just did there, if you play it right, you can actually get away with doing that in the time trials. That's sort of that's definitely a trick on this track that you don't often see. You know, you can get up on the walls and basically not have to hit the brakes. So I mean, it's all about getting the right angle. Huh. So all that, and I was only off track for 1/10 of a second. That's interesting. Anyway. I will be very thrilled to get away from Porsche Test Track. I don't particularly like this, which is a really strange thing for me to say, considering just before starting this I ran 100 miles in the FXXK, but so it goes. It was actually a pretty productive race. I had the 140% fame race dollar bonus, and I used the manager, so it I don't know, paid about $1.25 million racing dollars or something like that. Alright, well, assuming I don't do anything dumb, I would think this pretty much ends it. If I can win it, because I haven't gone off track for more than a second. So as long as I can win it, this should put me in the green, and we can just go ahead with goal number 4. Okay, there we go. This one's over. Very good. Let's see what we have. Put the service in the red, and I will go ahead and service that for whatever, 8 or 10 days from now. Magnus wants a rematch. Go figure. You can finish this event without colliding or going off track. If you can defeat Magnus in the process, that's good too. 1 lap head-to-head on the long circuit. Finish without colliding, or, well, either way, you have to finish without colliding or going off track. So, I guess you can go off track for up to a second. I actually think I'm going to just let Magnus win. It doesn't really matter. Obviously, he has a fast car. I didn't make much of an effort to go very fast there. I guess I actually got off track there. I didn't intend to do that, obviously. So now I'm definitely not going to try for the win because I have to be really careful up in this little bus stop thing, or it's very easy to get off track there. All right, easy day. Obviously that 4th goal there was one of those goals that they throw out every now and then, that if you had run your car all the way into the red for service in the first 2 goals, then you could just you could finish that one without worrying about having to service the car. So just remember that as you go through it. It doesn't matter if the service is all the way in the red. All you have to do is finish the lap. And obviously I'm still in the green, but I will go ahead and put that in for service because it'll need to be fully serviced tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not actually looking at too many more upgrades. See how much these brakes are. 75 and 160 and 170. So those are the ones that have, race dollars come after them. Let's see what we have. 20,000 race dollars. 10 gold. Gold's never bad. Magnus has issues. Yeah, whatever. In the movies, when rich folks grab a fistful of money and make it rain. Yeah. Wonder how dangerous that would be, but with a fleet of 962Cs. Yeah, anyway. So on and so forth. You can figure out whatever Eric and Natalia are saying. Looks like we're going to Daytona tomorrow, so that should be fun. I mean, obviously these being prototype cars, they're pretty well set up for the Daytona road course. Anyway, let me know how you're getting on. Leave me a question or comment, and I will try to respond.